What's up, guys? John Howell here. Just finishing off a run, man. Just finishing off a run this morning. Or should I say this afternoon? It's a Sunday afternoon where I am right now. Gorgeous day for a run. Stopping, enjoying, and getting ready for the day. Man, I'm tired, aren't I? Look at my eyes. Wow. But anyway, yeah, look at that. That's the view. I'm about 10 minutes away from home right now. But anyway, I want to talk to you about something that I find that has had a major sort of impact on me in the way that I look at these markets and the way that I study these markets and the way that I see these markets. Let me just keep walking here. You know, it's really interesting, you know, because when I first started getting ahead of it, when I first started trading the markets 15 years ago, I always thought that, you know, like, why is it that some people can do well out of trading but I couldn't at the start? What was the thing that was stopping me from moving forward? I'm just like, why couldn't I ever, you know, seem to do well? You know, and you know, and as the years have gone on, right? So I went through the boom up into 2008. I went through the crash of 2008. I went through the boom of last year, and then now I've gone through the crash of this whole thing that's happened recently. And oh, by the way, guys, this whole virus thing that's happened right now, there will be another second counter. You know that, right? It might be at the end of the year. So we have a good brief period where we are right now before the second showing of this virus. Whether it's planned or manipulated or whatever you want to call it, that's basically what's going to happen, right? And you know, and it's really fascinating, right? Because I did so many years, right? And I tried to trade, and you know, and I just didn't get it, you know. Like when I first started trading, I was like, what? Why is it? Like, what am I not doing right here? Like, you know, how can I actually do really well out of trading, and how can I, like, what's going on, you know? Because I could just never seem to get ahead, and you know, one of the things that actually I started to realize was that it had nothing to do with the markets and had everything to do with me. It had nothing to do with the system and had everything to do with me, right? Because the fact of the matter is, guys, is that my mentor, one of my earliest 7-figure mentors, said to me, John, if you want consistent results, you must be consistent. I'm like, say again? He said, if you want consistent results, you must be consistent. And I realized, like, when I first started trading, because I had no idea what trading even was. Right, when I first started into it, was like the stock market and what is this thing out there, and I had no idea, right? No idea. I was a landscape labourer, right? I barely finished school, and so like I just like, and he said, you know, and he said, John, here's the thing. Here's the 10-foot view out of trading. He was saying, firstly, you must have something that the edge, right, in the markets. It's never about getting it right, or there's no right and wrong in the markets. The right and wrong is whether you're stuck to a plan. That's right and wrong, not whether it was a profitable trade or a losing trade, right? Because we all have our win-loss ratios, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it was actually me that was stopping me from moving forward, right? Like, because I was taking these things based on hope, based on a thought, instead of based on a proven method. And you know, and I still see a lot of traders to this day, right? Like, and I can see the 10-foot view, right? They're asking like, oh, I'm looking to get into this stock right now. What do you think? And it's like, but that's the wrong question, right? It's like, what I think doesn't matter. What matters is, do you have a proven plan that says, okay, this is a good time to get in? But even on a proven plan, some of those trades you take are going to be losses, and you can never know up front. The trades you absolutely think are going to make a profit are probably going to make a loss, and the trades you don't think are going to make a profit are going to make a loss. Are going to make a profit, should I say. Right? And So that whole thing about, and I realized like me researching a newspaper, right? Or researching YouTube, or looking at, you know, Ray Dalio, he's done all the study, he's done all the research, surely he knows what's going to happen, right? And then I realized like from an actual trading point of view, where I'm trading for an income, none of that really matters, right? And if you can see that, right, like a lot of people would do that, right? It's like they would see, Ray Dalio would say, okay, the top is in, so no one would go long. But do you know, this whole last month has been there's been amazing long opportunities for trading for income. I mean, you get in and get out between 1 and 5 days. See what I'm saying there? So we don't ever want to mix the two up. If we're doing macro study, and a macro person like Ray Dalio says we're at the top, then don't think and say, okay, well, I'm not going to take any long signals because we're at the top now. Do you know what I mean? And I realized that on the 10-foot view, when stepping back, I realized that what my mentor said was that if you want consistent results, you need to be consistent. And that was always the hardest thing for me, right? The hardest thing for me was just doing that, right? Just being consistent. And that's the thing that I've had to work hard on, right? It's like, okay, what is the plan that I believe in? What is that thing that I truly believe in that has a very high win-loss ratio? What is this system? What is this pattern? What is the setup that I believe in that has a high win-loss ratio? And once I have that, and I have the plan around it, about the rules, about when I'm going to get in, about the risk management, then I realize that my job is not try to be right with the market, right? One of my earliest 7-figure mentors, my first 7-figure mentor, he actually said to me, he said, John, people would rather be right than rich when it comes to trading. And I never understood that. I'm like, of course you need to be right to make money. And he kept saying that, you need to be right than rich. He said, John, people would rather be right than rich than make money when it comes to trading. He goes, I'd rather trade it and make some money. And I'm like, but don't you need to be right to make money? And what he was saying was that he has a plan that he believes in. And most of the time he gets in, he's going to make a profit. But sometimes he's going to have that loss. But he never knows up front. But if he starts to think that he knows, if he starts to oppose his will and his thoughts based on what he thinks is going to be the right trade, it's going to make a profit and what's not, before you know it, you're going to screw the results. Before you know it, you're taking a system that has a 75% win-loss ratio to a 75% loss win ratio. You know what I mean? And you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And I guarantee you, if you look at all your trading this year, if all your trading this year has been all based on something else and not based on a proven plan, where it's the same setup, like that's with me and my private clients, right? They're absolutely crushing it right now. And we've had a phenomenal year this year. Now, 10% of my trading this year has been buying on big dips and benefiting from this swing up, yes. But my trading for income has been the same setup, the same entry, the same thing every time. Right? I trade options. I trade the same setup. I trade the same entry. I trade the same option, the type of option, every single time. Some of them are going to be losses and some of them are going to be profits. And that's the whole thing, right? It's like, and once I started to realize that I didn't need to know what was going to happen with this one trade to make money, everything changed, right? Everything completely changed to me being fearful of having a losing trade, to say, no, I need to accept that some of these trades I'm going to take are going to be losers. But I don't know which one's going to be. And the more that I started to track my trading, where I said, okay, if I took 10 trades this last month, and I did this many, many, many years ago, and I started recording, reviewing, and improving, recording every trade, reviewing every week, and improving. Or at least once a month, right? Look at the last month. So, okay, I took 20 trades this month. Okay. 4 of those trades met the rules, and 3 of those trades were profits, and the rest were like, pretty average, right? Big losses, small wins, and all this sort of crap. I'm like, hang on a minute, if I just took those trades out of 20 trades, if I just took 4 trades, I actually would have made more money than taking 20 trades. Huh. Okay, then, well, I need to focus more on focusing on that setup then. Okay. And then the next month I'd come, and then I started, okay, I took 10 trades this month. 5 of the trades were the trading setup, and 5 weren't the trading setup. Okay. If I only took the trade, and then I realized, okay, the 5 trades that weren't met the trading, that didn't meet any setup, just based on what I thought, most of those were losing trades. If they were winners, some of the small winners, big losses and all that sort of stuff. And if I just took these 5 trades, so I took less trades, I actually would have made more money. And then a couple of months later, I'd do the same thing, and I'd record and I'd review, and I'd really focus on doing that, right? And then it came down to me actually looking at a good 3 to 6 month view of doing that, and realizing that if I keep doing this shit, of taking shit, I'm gonna keep getting a lot of shit. I said to one of my one of my private clients this week, I said, when you do, you do. When you don't, you don't. Right? And what that simply means is that you have a setup, and when you do follow it, 100% of the time, you're going to do well. It's a mathematical science proven fact. Along with, what I mean by that is that you had the same setup, you trade the same option, you trade the same risk on your account every single time. When you do, you do. When you don't, you don't. When you do follow the plan every time, you're going to do well. It's just a mathematical certainty. And therefore you're going to make an income, right? But when you don't, guess what? And that's when I started tracking. When I started tracking everything I did, that was the biggest thing for me, because I'm like, hang on a minute. And then I started realizing it, right? And then, and then it got to a point where and then I started realizing that by taking less trades, I made more money. Because I always thought more trades equaled more money. I'm like, hang on a minute, no, if I actually want to make money from this thing instead of going backwards, it's like, hang on a minute, I only made $1,000 this month. Oh crap, man, I could have made 20 grand this month if I just stuck to my plan. Damn, And then the next month will come, I'm like, man, I made 25 grand this month. That seems pretty good. And then I actually look at all my results, all the trades that I did that month. Might have been 15 trades. I'm like, man, I could have made $35,000 this month, but I took 5 shit trades when I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on there? And even the trades that I had that were profitable, the trades that met my plan, some of them are losses. But I realized by taking less trades, which actually met my plan, I actually made more money. And this is when I started realizing the whole thing about less is more. And I started realizing, with one of my mentors said that I need to be consistent if I want consistent results long term out of trading, which means if I want an income this year, if I want to make an income this year, I need to be consistent. And then layer that over with, what one of my other earliest mentors said to me. He said, John, people would rather be right than rich in the markets. I'd rather to trade and make money. And when I started to layer those things over in my trading, things started to really pick up, right? It's sort of like the 3 major things that really, really, really crushed it for me in this thing here was that recording, reviewing, improving was the biggest thing for me. What trades did I take this month or this year that actually met the rules? And just because it made a losing trade just doesn't mean it was a wrong trade. The right and wrong is a matter of whether you actually stuck to the plan or not. Just say some of my private clients, I might take a trade, and if it's a losing trade, I'm like, you didn't do the wrong thing. You did the right thing. You did the wrong thing if you put too much on your account on any given one trade, yeah. And so, yeah, recording, reviewing, improving. That was the very first thing. 3 major things that completely turned it around for me was that recording, reviewing, improving. Because then I could actually see what I was doing, right? Why do we need a coach? We need a coach because we can't see what we're doing. But if we record, review, and improve, we're recording every trade, and then we're reviewing, okay, which trades met this plan that I'm trading, which trades didn't, and if I stuck to the plan, how would I have done, and all that sort of stuff. Then the second thing is that if you want consistent results, you must stay consistent. Layer that over, that's the number 2 then, layer that over number 3 is that people would rather be right than rich. And my mentor said I'd just rather be traded. And what that simply means is that when you have a trading plan, that if you just stuck to those trades, some of them are going to be losses, but at the end of the day, even the trades you absolutely don't think are going to make a profit are going to make a profit. And you know what I'm talking about, right? If you have some sort of trading setup that you look for, and you look at it like, man, this is a perfect setup, this thing's definitely going to run on, and it doesn't, you're like, oh, did I get that wrong? You start to question yourself, right? And then another setup comes along that doesn't look as crystal clean, but it still meets the rules. And then guess what? That thing runs off a profit and you don't take it. You're like, oh, sorry, I thought right. And you know what I'm talking about, right? And this is where the whole thing is like it's not the market that gets you. It's you that gets you. One, have a setup. If you don't have a setup, then go to johnsfreegift.com. You can get a free trading course there. I've got 2 trading systems there. Take one of the free trading systems I give away and just trade that, right? One of the trading systems is what I call the ultimate trading system. Do you know the ultimate trading system in the johnsfreegift.com? There's been, I don't know, at least a dozen really good ultimate trading system trades in the last month that have absolutely crushed it. Apple even gave an ultimate trading system trade. Apple did, Google did. You know, a lot of these stocks are actually given the ultimate trading system. Apple was the absolute perfect ultimate trading system trade. I've called it the ultimate trading system because, yeah, I didn't know what to call it right at the time. I've traded that for pretty much my entire trading career. Now my number one trading system, I call that sort of the momentum trading system. That's the one I do with my private clients. If you're interested in becoming a private client, then just email me at HOWELL trader@gmail.com, and then we'll arrange a time for us to have a call, and then we'll see if you're a good fit for my coaching clients, to become a coaching client. And then you'll learn my number one trading strategy, and then you'll have me there as your coach every single day. Even if you don't want to do that, go to johnsfreegift.com, and then in that trading course, again, you'll see 2 different trading courses there. It doesn't matter, just get something, right? And you'll learn like the ultimate trading system, right? It's about like a 10-minute video long. That's all it is. But it's not people want more. It's like, okay, here's the pattern, follow it. Do nothing but follow it. And so anyway, I hope this helped you out, and I hope this is the evolution of my journey, right? Of being involved with the markets. And trust me, guys, you know, there was so many times that I wanted to do so well out of trading. I'm like, why am I not doing well? Why wasn't I doing well out of trading, you know? And then things started to shift for me big time when I started to realize these fundamental things, these foundational things in the markets. And then I started to really, really crush it right now. And you know, and this is the thing that I had to do, that you know, that as time has gone up, my income has gotten better, but my trades have gotten, I've taken less and less trades, right? And still to this day, I take less and less and less trades. The reason why is because I'm just simply waiting for those patterns, that are those setups, right? That I know that are the ones that I'm absolutely looking for. Make sense? And so if you can do that, I promise you, the whole thing, if you do, you will do well. If you don't, you won't do well. And it really, really took me a long time to start figuring all that out. And that's even the hardest thing here right now, right? Like sometimes I'm not perfect. Sometimes I get off the track as well too myself. But that whole accountability, right? Accountability on myself. And then I'm going to layer this over with a bonus tip. A bonus tip here is that when you have that, right, you have your trading system and you're recording, reviewing, improving. You're saying, here's my trading system trades that met the rules. What were the results? Here they weren't. And you know, and then you go look at your entries and exits, right? And then, you know, my earliest mentor said consistency, right? If you want a consistent long-term results in your trading, you must be consistent. And then my earliest mentor said also, you know, people would rather be right than rich in trading. He'd just rather trade it. And like with the whole up and down, right? People saying, oh, you can't go short now, you can't go long now, and so on and so forth. The markets, you know, and let alone, you know, Amazon and Netflix are making all-time new highs. It's like, why wouldn't you go long? You know what I mean? But on top of all that, one of the hardest things that you're also going to have if you start to get that down pack is this one thing called patience, right? And what I mean by that is that patience and understanding the flow of your trading system. So some months, that trading system that you follow, even if you are being consistent, some months are going to be really, really active, and some months are going to be very, very quiet. I'll give you an example. January and February for me and my private clients, again, if you email me at howtrader@gmail.com, I'll arrange a time to have a speak to you. And if you want to join my private coaching group and become a private client, then we'll talk on there. It's not for everybody, but you may qualify for that. But the whole thing is, guys, is that, you know, January and February, my private clients absolutely crushed it, right? They were so excited. There were so many amazing opportunities, and crushed it, right? I had 2 of my private clients make 6 figures in the first 2 months of this year, or first 2 or 3 months of this year, right? And then guess what happened in March? Even though the market was coming down hard, it was very quiet, right? There wasn't as many trades, and they were very, very quiet, and they were unsure, and they were starting, I can see, right, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, when there was no trades at all, they were starting to get antsy. But hang on a minute, we just had 2 months of phenomenal trades. You know, it just blew me away, right? And it just showed me like how well my private clients did. Again, 2 of my private clients made 6 figures this year already, and one of them on his very first full position, not his whole entire trading account, right? But after learning the system, I spent about 2 months learning the system, and then he went in with a full position with good risk management on his account. He made his money back. He made all his money back from the actual coaching from his very first trade, and it just completely blew me away from that, right? But the whole thing is that I just keep telling my, and that's where me and my coach, right? It was really interesting because I actually said to my coaching clients at the end of February, I said, listen, we've had a phenomenal run this last 2 months. Me and my private clients, and I said to them, listen, we have crushed it those last 2 months. I'm so proud of you guys. Be prepared for that to turn around, because everything goes in cycles, right? Everything does. What goes up comes down, what goes down comes up, you know, right? And that's when we can understand the ebbs and flows of that, we can do really, really well. And when I actually said to him, right, when I said to him, listen, it's, when I said to him that, you know, I said to him that, you know, at the end of February, I said, listen, it's probably going to get really quiet really soon. And it actually did. But then towards the end of March, which was, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I said, listen, we've had a very, very quiet month. That's March. Get ready for things to pick back up again, because there's going to be an amazing opportunity. And guess what happened? Well, guess what's happened this last month? So many amazing, what I call cash flow trades, when you're in and out, you know, because me and my private clients mainly only trade the last hour. That means we get in today, we're looking in the last hour for trading opportunities, we get in today and we're holding until tomorrow, or, you know, or 1 to 5 days, as I call it. You know, and that's where most of me and most of my private clients actually do our trading. You know, and that's what happened, right? So January, February was a really busy month for us. We had crushed it. March was quiet, and this is the time where I actually said, listen, be patient, right? And then suddenly what's happened these last 2 weeks is things, because of the volatility and things are picking up, we've had there's been so many amazing, really good short-term cash flow opportunities that, you know, that are there, right? And that cash flow is like even short-term trades, right? In and out. I had one of my private clients who actually had a short-term trade on Amazon, and within a couple of days made 250% return on his option. He's like, just absolutely just crushed it, right? You know, I had another private client who I spoke to recently, and you know, and this last week, he's had like 4 trades, and every single one of those trades actually ran on for profits. Some were small profits, like, you know, 5% return, and then other trades were like 100% return. But the fact of the matter is they're consistent, right? But I'm there saying, listen, don't let your ego get involved and all that sort of stuff. That's what I do as a coach, right? I'm like, because we've got to keep that balance, right? Not only do I need to keep you consistent, not only do I need to keep you being patient, but then I need to make sure that when my private clients, like one of my private clients, I said before, he's made 6 figures already this year, already. You know, I said, you've got an incredible year ahead of you, but I said, but then don't let your ego get involved. Because I've done that before, right? I'd make hundreds of thousands of dollars from the markets, let alone just to give that back plus more very, very quickly. I spend, you know, 3 months making 300 grand, and then I spend 2 weeks giving that back plus more. And so I always kept saying, listen, you've made 100 grand now in 2 months, fantastic, or 3 months, whatever it was. Fantastic, you did an amazing job. Don't let your ego get involved, and keep your risk management tight, and you'll do really, really well from trading. And we just keep moving forward. So I hope some of these things, guys, my only depth from this heart, guys, is that if you are struggling right now and you are having a hard time right now when it comes to your trading, when it comes to what you're doing right now, you can do so well from trading. You really, really, really can. It's there, right? And I hope the stuff that I've talked about today, you're so close to that other line to getting it, right? Just getting it, you know. And that whole little last bonus thing about being patient, that's the biggest thing, right? And not trying to make money, not trying to have a monthly goal. I have a yearly goal. Why? Because guess what? Because you know, some months are going to be quiet, some months are going to be busy. But I guarantee you, if you kept that ebbs and flows where you're patient when you need to be patient when it's quiet, and you stepped up and you were consistent, even though you didn't think these trades were going to work out, but you still stepped up with good risk management, and you're consistent at your risk management. That's where you can do really well from trading, right? So anyway, guys, well, that's it for me today, coming to you from this gorgeous place right now, as you can see, and just looking after my health, looking after my mind. I'm so excited about these markets, guys. I cannot emphasize how excited I am about these markets and the opportunity that you have right now. And the biggest thing that I can say to you guys, and I'll leave the last comment, is that have a think about some of the things that I've said to you, and have a hard look at yourself and ask you, are you being consistent? And if not, well, don't expect consistent results. You know what I said to one of my private clients: when you do, you do. When you don't, you don't. When you do follow a plan consistently, you're going to do well. When you don't, you don't, right? And so you can do this, right? You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And above all, I want you to really sit back and think about what's happened this year around the markets. About, okay, the market crashed when? The market has had a bottom and it's had a big rally when? Step back out of what? Step back out of your emotions and all this other news, and just look at the facts for what it is and see how you were thinking, right? How was I thinking here a month ago when they called pandemic, and this idiot here was calling bottom the markets? Well, I'm not really an idiot, right? Because look what's happened ever since, right? I started calling bottom around that time. Now, I actually thought earlier that the market was going to bottom, and I got that wrong. So then I waited, and then when things definitely got into like the absolute worst case scenario, that's when you guys know, right? You know, I've mentioned a few times in my videos that you know, when they mentioned pandemic, and I even put the pink arrow on there. So yeah, so how you going? And you know, it's really interesting, right? And so have a think about the way that you've approached these markets, you thought about these markets, because there's a lesson to learn in this everything, okay? If we can learn the lessons, we can move forward, you know. And one of the biggest things that I remember learning back when Donald Trump won and the market boomed was that the market was giving us signs, right? The market started making higher highs and higher lows, and I know something as simple as this, but everything fundamental, there's a big debt bubble, Donald Trump was going to crash the market, but the market exploded. But do you know, the market was in a sideways range and then started breaking out with higher highs and higher lows with strong buyers. That told you the market was probably going to go for a nice run. Something simple as that I missed back at that election. I learned, I had to step back and say, what did I miss? And then reassess from there. So you can do so well, you really can. And I know that you can have an amazing year this year. Just one, have a real good think about the way that you are personally approaching these markets. Are you trying to be right, or do you want to be rich? Are you being consistent? If not, well, don't expect consistent results. When you do follow a plan all the time, you're going to do well over this year, right? And when you do, you do. When you don't, you don't. Okay? And also, this last note, guys, that I know you can have an amazing year, and it's going to be an exciting year. And I know that you're very close to doing well. And just make sure, guys, once again, have a think about the way that the cycles work, how the cycles have worked lately, about how, you know, when did they drop the interest rates and when did the bottom happen, and all this sort of stuff, because we can learn a lot about cycles, about what we think, and then what we think in reality may not be the same. And from that we can learn so much, and it's going to help us just move forward. So anyway, I'm going to continue my run now. I've got this gorgeous view. Guys, I really want to see you succeed this year, and I know you can. I believe in you. Just got to be a lot more tougher on yourself.